Hey, good morning, church. I just want to share some thoughts with you this morning. And I want to share some thoughts with you regarding how we think about and how we minister to other people. So I'm sure all of us can think about someone in our lives who's going through a tough time. And for these people or this person that's going through a tough time, how do we then minister to them? How do we come alongside of them? How do we bear one another's burdens? And I want to talk to you about how we can do this in an effective way. We think, well, I can minister in this way, I can minister in that way, and I can fulfill these needs. But I want to talk to you about prayer. I want to talk to you about intercessory prayer. You see, the most important thing that we can do for someone is to pray for them. Because each of us is going to struggle. Each of us are going to go through times. And when we struggle, who do we reach out to? Right? I know that in times it's been nice to have someone come and visit me. It's been nice to have someone come and maybe provide a meal, or we can do all these things. But I know what is most comforting is knowing that people are praying for me. And so I want to ask, who in your life is struggling right now that you could be praying for? If you think about it, we as human beings, we're inherently selfish, right? Maybe people would say, the three most important people in my life are me, myself, and I. But that's not what the Bible calls us to do, right? We're to think less of ourselves, right? We're to think more highly of others. And so, how then can we minister? How then can we maybe pray for people that if it's not the top of our to-do list, right? It's not something that we naturally do. And I think about Jesus, right? He is our intercessor before God. And if we want to be more like Jesus, then we need to be praying for others. We need to think about others. We need to be on our knees praying for one another, right? The Bible tells us to love one another, right, as ourselves. And I think, well, if I love myself and I pray for myself, shouldn't that mean that I should be praying for others just as I am praying for myself? I've heard it said this way: if God answered all of your prayers, whose life outside of yourselves would be affected by your prayers? And that's convicting to me. How often do I pray for other people besides me, right? How often do I pray besides other people than my wife or my daughter? And so what does that look like for you? I want to challenge you today to think about, to spend some time praying for someone else, praying for someone who you know desperately needs you to stand in the gap, to seek the Lord on their behalf. Ian Bound said it this way: talking to men for God is a great thing, but talking to God for men is greater still. So I pray that you find yourselves today, and not just today, but ongoing, find yourselves in a place where you can seek God on behalf of others.